Hey y'all, and welcome back to another reaction to slapped ham videos. Today we will be looking at one that's titled Scary Videos That Will Spook You Good. Well, let's just hope that they can spook us, alright? Now, without further ado, let's get started, shall we?
When most people think of paranormal activity, they probably picture it occurring in an abandoned building, haunted house, or even a graveyard. However, it seems it might actually be able to happen anywhere, including one's own kitchen, thus proving that nowhere is truly safe from the paranormal. In this video, YouTuber The London Paranormal 1 may have captured just such an event. The clip opens with a view of what looks to be an everyday kitchen. Everything seems normal for a few seconds, until a strange banging sound can be heard in the background. Shortly after, some bizarre activity is caught on camera. Take a look. Upon review, you can see a small bowl on the kitchen counter is pushed to the side without explanation. Then a few dishes fall into the sink by themselves, shortly followed by a can that flies across the countertop, almost as if violently thrown by some sort of unseen force. All is still for about another 15 seconds, until a cupboard door slowly opens by itself. Items begin falling onto the floor. Another cupboard opens and even more items fall to the floor before the clip suddenly ends. The YouTuber who captured this creepy footage claims all the commotion in the kitchen was the result of poltergeist activity. However, the reaction of viewers has varied greatly. Some were in awe of what they saw in the clip, believing that the mayhem was indeed caused by something supernatural. Others were not so sure, however, speculating that the video could be a hoax, with someone off camera causing the mysterious movements. While this is possible, it seems unlikely when the cupboards swing open. Yes, that part could be caused by string attached to the door handles, but the items falling onto the floor would be much harder to fake. So what do you think? Could there really be something supernatural afoot in this kitchen, or is it all just a case of well-crafted trickery? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This one has me scratching my head a little bit. Not just because of the activity, but it's just trying to figure out exactly how or why this type of situation is going on. I mean, some of the stuff, yeah, I can understand. It could probably be a little bit faked, but I'm a little confused on some of it. Like that measuring cup that was in between the, like a electric kettle and the refrigerator, that bouncing. There's obviously no location for somebody to sit there and move it, but just the amount of poltergeist activity that this person is having in the kitchen, I ain't never seen anything like this. I mean, I've heard about it. You know, you hear it all the time. And most people are like, yeah, right. You know, this doesn't happen except in the movies, you know. Do you agree with me when I say that? So anyway, now I'm not denying any sort of poltergeist or ghostly activity, paranormal activities that anybody has. I mean, I've had personally a few myself, never in my home, well, a current home, I should say. When I was younger, yes. But, you know, I've had the random things, just recently when I was at the hotel, when I was at incarceration in Mansfield, Ohio. I ended up staying in a nice, lovely little town called Mount Vernon, Ohio. If any of y'all know, it's really nice little area, quiet. And I'd say maybe the second day I was there, it was late at night. I got home late. I was tired. I laid down to go to bed, and all of a sudden, of course, the normal. You got to get up and go to the bathroom. Well, I got up. I actually had the bed closest to the bathroom, so I didn't go near the dresser or anything. I got off on the one side of the bed and went to the restroom. When I came back, now, as a habit of me, I always leave a light on in the hotel room, mainly the bathroom, because I don't know the area. I haven't been there long enough to, really make out where everything is. If it's my house, I can walk around completely in the dark and I know exactly where everything is, except my cat. I might stumble upon her a little bit, a couple of times, but besides the point. Anyway, so I got out of the bathroom, and the middle drawer in the middle drawer of the chest of drawers that was in the middle of the room, the door, or the drawer, I should say, was open. I didn't do it. There ain't nobody else with me. I was sleeping. I'm by myself. Went to the restroom, and all of a sudden the drawer was open. Now, yeah, I've had a few things like that happen while going to hotels, and I've had where I'm leaving a hotel and I actually had my bag tugged on while waiting at the elevator. But when it comes, I'd say that was probably the most I've ever had with paranormal encounters for me. And just seeing something like this, you automatically want to assume, yeah, that's fake. That's 100% fake. And I was thinking that too, especially when that door popped open. I'm thinking, oh yeah, somebody could be hiding in the over there where the doors are underneath the sink, right? I know a lot of y'all thought that too. And they just popping out the stuff, make sure it look extra crazy and everything like that, just to get views and all that. But then when the one underneath the sink directly beside the cabinet door that opens up, and you see that there's a literal wall between the cabinets, that's when my mind started changing, and I've been trying to just work out every so often what is going on in this video. A lot of this stuff is a little too strange to be natural. I guess you could say that's the word. But then some of it's a little too over the top to be paranormal, for me anyway. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they 100% set this thing up and rigged it up to the point of everything's 100% fake, but then I'm just still a little scratching my head about this whole thing. Just let me know what y'all think about this. I mean, I'm leaning more towards the side of fake, but the amount of money somebody might have sprung on this to create such mayhem simply doesn't sit right with me. Just the fact that you spent that much money just to make a video on this for the possibility of it going viral, I'm not too sure, But anyway, let's get on to the next before I sit here and just go on a long, long rant.
With its history stretching back for eons, perhaps it's no surprise that the number of ghost sightings in Ireland has always been abundant. In this video, uploaded to YouTube by Keanu Gorman, we see what could be evidence of a supernatural entity caught on film. Unfortunately, there's little accompanying information. However, the video appears to be security footage taken from a camera that overlooks the entrance to a large building. A few seconds into the clip, we see something eerie. Take a look. You can see a strange human-like shape appear on the pathway leading from the gate on the right side of the screen. At first, it's quite difficult to see, and if you're not aware it's there, you could easily miss it. Here it is again in slow motion. One viewer suggested the possibility that the figure could be a reflection on glass. However, the uploader disagreed, noting that the camera is mounted directly to the wall on the outside of the building and not behind any glass. Others suggested it could be a glitch in the camera recording. This video really does appear to have captured something odd, but is it really a ghost? We'll throw this one out to you, the audience, to decide.
This video here, now, my eye keeps on being drawn to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, right beside the first bush that's close to the edge of that road that we see next to the lamppost. Well, before the bush, there's a long shadow, and within that shadow I see a typical glare that comes from a glass window, mirror. You know the type of glare I'm talking about, when the sun hits it just right at an angle and everything, and it creates a real kind of mirror-like quality on the glass, right? Anyway, the poster of this video states that the camera is not behind the glass, but I still go to the bottom left-hand corner of that screen and I see what is a mirror image that's normally set when you have when you're filming or taking a picture behind glass. And this one here, I believe, is fake. It's too much purposeful walking in it, and just a simple fact that it looked like a person's, just like a mirror image of a person. So this one here, in my honest, full-on opinion, is fake. This camera is behind a window, and we were seeing the reflection, or we should say maybe a refraction, of a person walking by. This is not in film, but their body, their movements and everything was captured through the camera by the mirror, or the window, I should say. In this case, it's a window. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
The last thing most people would expect when they go to the gym is to be spooked by something supernatural. However, this video uploaded to Instagram by Paranoid Normal shows that we should all take a good look around us next time we decide to hit the weights. In the video, we see a woman performing an exercise when suddenly something bizarre happens. Take a look. The handle on the chain next to her begins to rise. Startled, the woman leaps to the ground and quickly moves away. If you zoom in on the chain, you can clearly see the handle lifting into the air, almost as though it's being moved by an invisible hand. It hovers mysteriously for a second before dropping suddenly. There doesn't appear to be a string attached either. This is certainly a very strange clip. There's nobody near the chain that could explain its strange movements. This begs the question, what is manipulating the chain? Could it really be a ghost? Whatever the reason, this video will surely remind you to keep an eye out for cheeky poltergeists next time you hit the gym.
This clip I had to sit and watch for a couple of times just to figure out and get a feel of everything a little bit for it. And honestly, to me, this doesn't look like an actual gym. Maybe it's a basement or a shed or something like that that somebody set up to create a home gym for themselves. So in theory it's a gym, but let's not get into any semantics over it and everything. But just the surprised actions of this person. They were moving pretty much like somebody done told them that there was a poisonous spider or a snake sitting next to them. You know, so I feel like, because there's no sound or anything like that, but she never looked over towards where that handle was coming up. And I feel like maybe we didn't hear any vocals or anything like that, that maybe there's a possibility of what happened with this one is that she was being viewed and like being recorded by somebody else, and they were doing maybe the recording of her exercise routine, something like that. And then this type of situation happened. Now, honestly, with this, I was trying to look and see if maybe over the white wall that there was maybe somebody actually maybe trying to manipulate in some way or form or another that handle on that chain. But I didn't see anything. And with this the lighting situation that they have over here in this particular room and everything, to me, is a very well lit area, which is perfect for people who need to do videos. Maybe she's putting videos out for people, for exercises and things like that. Maybe she's getting some sort of following or videos going on with her exercise stuff. Anyway, besides the point, but the lighting in it does create a lot of shadow, and I didn't see anything that could have manipulated that handle enough for to create a shadow or anything like that. So honestly, I'm kind of sticking with team this is real for this one, just with also her movements and her running away as quick as possible, not even wanting to look at it. She heard what the person said that was filming and just left. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Sometimes the scariest things caught on camera don't include sudden, rapid movements or things being thrown around a room by an invisible force. Instead, some of the most haunting activity involves a single, isolated occurrence. In this video shared by Boy Viral on Facebook, viewers get a glimpse of some odd activity. The clip, seemingly taken from a security camera, shows an outside garage. The space is mostly empty except for a red motorcycle to the left of screen. If you look carefully, you can see a strange flickering anomaly to the side of the bike. It stays there for several seconds, then all of a sudden something truly chilling happens. Take a look. The light on the motorcycle turns on and the front of the bike turns. The bike then begins to roll forward before completely toppling onto its side. It's almost as if something turned the motorbike on, then pushed it over. There's clearly no evidence of wind in the video, let alone one strong enough to tip over such a heavy object. Some paranormal enthusiasts believe that certain ghosts might possess the ability to manipulate physical items. These ghosts, known as poltergeists, are thought to be able to interact with the world around them. Could this explain the bike's sudden movement? Some viewers have suggested that prior to the motorcycle toppling over, it almost appears as though a ghostly figure is attempting to interact with the bike in some way. Then, after several seconds, it seems to gain enough strength to finally tip it over. While the reason for the bike's bizarre movement ultimately remains a mystery, this video certainly does raise several eerie questions. Does this video really show proof of a pesky poltergeist determined to leave its mark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.
This video here with my motorcycle. Now, I just got a couple of questions in general for the person who put this video. Is this an indoor garage or is it like an outdoor carport type thing? Because honestly, to me, it's looking like a carport, especially on the left-hand screen closest to the dirt bike itself. It looks like there's maybe plants or something going on over there. And just with Callan or Slapped Ham, whichever one y'all want to call him. Anyway, he said that there was no visible wind within the video. Kind of beg to differ in a little bit. I mean, I'm pretty sure closest to the dirt bike, y'all saw some movement, some flickering and things like that. Now, that just indicated to me that this was like a carport, not an actual garage where it goes and has the door closed and all that. But then again, it does look like it is right there in front of you. So I'm a little confused with this whole video, and just the fact that it took just a little over a minute for this poltergeist to be able to get up enough energy to move the dirt bike and manipulate the dirt bike in any way. I mean, I've seen footage where it takes half an hour to an hour and just drainage on batteries and actual interferences within the camera system itself too, before a ghost could possess enough strength to be able to move anywhere between 80 to 200 pounds of heavy machinery. I mean, dirt bike probably 70, 80 pounds, according to the brand, the make, and everything like that. With does it have a full gas tank? Stuff like that. I want to say that this one here seems also that it was sped up slightly, in my opinion. I know it does indicate on the timestamp there that this took like a minute and a half probably. And I know the whole thing was sped up too, because if you watch the seconds, they do move by a little bit quicker than an actual second does go. And it just seems like this was actually sped up a lot more than the timestamp actually indicates, just with a simple movement of certain things. And just like I say, there was a whole weird blur image on the side and everything. I feel like this right here has been manipulated and tampered with a bit. What y'all think about it? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below what y'all think. Alright, let's move on to the next one.
One priority for all parents should be to keep their children safe from harm. But what about if that potential danger was coming from inside the child's room? When father Stephen Armstrong glanced at his baby monitor, he froze in fear after spotting something rather chilling in his daughter's room. Take a look. In the footage, we see the young child sleeping soundly in her bed. To the very left of frame, there's something that clearly doesn't belong, a strange bright shape lingering near the crib. It dips in and out of view for a few seconds before disappearing completely. Some viewers thought the strange shape could simply be a spider or insect crawling across the lens of the baby monitor. Occasionally, these little critters show up as mysterious blurry shapes and often scare those who view the footage at a later time. Other viewers offered a more paranormal explanation, suggesting that a dead relative could have made a visit to the child's room from beyond the grave. Either way, it's easy to see why the father was so spooked by the footage. Let's hope for the baby's sake that if the visitor was something supernatural, it came with no sinister intentions.
Now, these type of videos get me. I don't understand. I mean, personally, I do not have any children whatsoever. But if I did, and I saw something on a baby monitor camera or whatever I got set up in their room, you best believe I would be going and figuring out what that was. But I see this a lot in a lot of these baby monitor video footage stuff where they were so scared that they didn't go and check in on their baby. I call shenanigans on that one. Let's be 100% honest with y'all. I mean, to have something where you are frozen in your tracks, that you do not want to sit there and you're so, let's put it, that you are so scared that you don't go and see if everything's all right with your child. That makes no sense to me. And like I say, I don't have any children, but still, seeing stuff like this makes me want to know what on earth is in there. What would be coming after my child like that? I'd be going looking. I'm not going to be sitting there saying, oh, I was too scared to look. They'll be okay on their own. That's what a lot of them seem like they do. Oh, they'll be okay. So this tells me right here that this is kind of fake. I'm sorry. If you saw the father burst into the room trying to look everywhere, heads, tails, anything for somebody, then that would be a real one. But most of the time we always see just a little clip of some weird, or as they say, mysterious, bright, shining. I'm sorry, it's not bright and shining. These are some night vision capabilities these cameras have. I mean, just like trail cams, just like any of the night vision goggles and stuff like that, images will be brighter, especially if it's a human, or an animal. They always show up a little bit brighter than the areas surrounding them. It's because of the heat sources that come from them, so you could be able to spot it a little bit better. But anyway, besides the point, this right here, and pretty much any video that's very similar to this, I feel it's just 100% fake. At the end of the day, fatherly instincts, motherly instincts would always kick in and have you go and check on your child to see if they are okay or not. All right, let's just move on to the next one.
Security cameras are usually installed to catch unwanted intruders. They often film some very strange and sometimes creepy things. These cameras are meant to make their owners feel safe, but sometimes they can make them feel even more uneasy than they did to begin with. In this video, uploaded to YouTube by Akaldama, a strange sighting has viewers wondering just what's been caught on camera. The footage shows an outside view at nighttime when something strange appears on camera. Take a look. A strange white shape appears to the left of screen. It flies in front of the camera before disappearing into the darkness from whence it came. While some viewers think the shape could simply be a leaf blowing in the breeze, there are a few factors worth considering. Firstly, there doesn't appear to be any wind. Even the branches on the tree in the background remain motionless, as the white object wafts past the camera. Secondly, the object doesn't resemble any known animal or insect, but rather has a strange wispy translucent quality. So what do you think? Leaf, insect, or something more mysterious? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comment section below.
Now, this video here, to me, is one of the more authentic types of these videos. I mean, there's been so many of these videos that's been debunked as it being like a moth or a fly, something that we all know as a common insect. But here, it has the feather-like quality I've seen in more of the authentic videos or photos that revolve around the paranormal. And as Callan had said, when you watch this video, if you pay close attention to the tree, there are no branches moving whatsoever. And this here too, if you pay close attention to this feather-like or leaf-like, whatever you want to call it, anomaly, is, you see no fluttering of wings. You don't really see anything that could be propelling something like this. So I feel like this one right here is actually a pretty authentic video. I mean, I know personally I've seen a lot of these, and you could tell whether it's a moth or something real because of the way the fluttering of the wings are. And there's no fluttering of wings. And if y'all also notice that there is another piece towards the end of it that actually shoots off into another direction. So it's more than one. Just if y'all catch that other piece shooting off and up into the area that's not seen by the video, let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is it another spirit, or did our little spirit friend here knock into a moth and shoot him off into another location? Let me know what y'all think. Let's move on to the next one.
Poltergeists are thought to cause all sorts of disturbances, from furniture being moved around to cups and plates being pushed from cupboards and benches. In this video, Mallow Bird, a YouTuber well known for experiencing ghostly encounters in his home, has captured evidence of a potential poltergeist doing something a little bit different. At the beginning of the clip, the uploader explains that he's just heard some strange noises in his house.
Okay, we got banging noises again. That seem to have stopped.
Armed with a camera, he enters the kitchen with hopes of catching some paranormal activity on film.
See, I haven't got a camera out yet, I should have.
He pans the camera around the room, urging the unknown entity to make another noise, but nothing happens.
Okay, make that noise again.
He then asks if it could bang or throw something to make itself known.
Camera out yet, I should have. Bang something, throw something, do anything.
Suddenly, there's a clanging sound which causes the uploader to turn around swiftly.
Give me a sign.
He searches the room for the source of the sound and soon spots a coin on the floor. Jokingly, he asks if the entity could throw notes instead of coins.
Can we not throw coins? Can we throw notes, please?
When viewing the clip for the first time, it can be hard to spot anything unusual. However, if you slow the footage down, you can see 2 or 3 coins flying through the air before they hit the cupboard and fall to the ground. Since nothing out of the ordinary was in the cupboard itself, this video has certainly managed to raise a few eyebrows. Additionally, several viewers agree that one thing's for sure: Mallow Bird should be glad that the poltergeist didn't throw anything more serious than a few spare coins. As one viewer noted, there are far more dangerous objects that can be found in the kitchen. Mallow Bird is an OG ghost channel from back in the day, and is certainly not without his detractors. Over the years, many people have called him a fraud, claiming all his paranormal evidence is a hoax. However, with strange incidents such as the flying coin caught in this video, does make you wonder as to what actually is happening in that house. To see more of Mallow Bird's paranormal experiences, check out his channel. As always, there's a link in the description box below.
I've actually heard of Mallow Bird before this. I believe one of his videos was on the television show Paranormal Caught on Camera. I mean, some of the stuff, it is kind of Hollywood, I guess you could say. That might be the best term for it. but I'm not too sure. I mean, I have heard that the building he lives in was extremely haunted. This isn't just from him himself that said it. I've actually heard of other people who talk about it. I really don't know the location. I don't know too much other than just the fact that other people have stated that there was some hauntings within that building that he currently resides in. But to me, if this was real, I know a lot of people will say, well, maybe he ain't got the money for it. But the amount of hauntings this man goes through and how many videos he has created in his lifetime with his videos, I think he's got enough money to try to move if this is really and truly a very extremely haunted location. I mean, I get to the point where I hear a lot of people staying in a home that's extremely haunted and things like that. And my whole thing is, okay, if it bothers you so much, why don't you move? If it startles you so much, why don't you move? But, you know what? I get it. If it's haunted, that's his prerogative. If it's not haunted, he's got a pretty decent gig on racking up some money with these supposedly haunted videos. Personal opinion, I feel like some of it's a bit Hollywood, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Of all the places where one might think to see paranormal activity, a nightclub is probably not high on the list. These locations are usually hotspots for bad dancing, overpriced booze and loud music, but not so much for supernatural sightings. However, this footage captured at the Attic nightclub in the UK appears to show that nowhere's safe from ghostly goings-on. The venue's general manager says he's heard rumours of inexplicable activity happening in the club, but has never seen anything for himself. That is, until now. Take a look. The footage shows an empty room, seemingly filmed after the club's been closed for the night. Suddenly, a sign in the middle of the floor falls over. This is soon followed by a mysterious orb that streaks through the air. A few seconds later, a bar stool begins to move before toppling over. The manager of the club said that although he thought the footage was spooky, he wouldn't mind buying this spirit a drink. He believes that not all ghosts are bad and some can actually be good if treated right. This is truly a creepy piece of footage and one that can't easily be explained. While the sign and stool's movements could be caused by someone pulling strings off camera, the bizarre glowing orb is not so easily dismissed. Often, orbs caught on camera can be explained as insects or dust particles moving close to the lens. However, some proponents of the supernatural swear that these orbs are paranormal in origin. It seems that in this case it's hard to deny, because of the other events that have also been caught on camera. So what do you think this video shows? Genuine ghostly activity, or is there another way to explain this spooky footage? Love to hear your opinion in the comments section below.
I've actually seen other videos from this particular bar, restaurant. He said bar, but I'm not too sure if it's completely just totally a bar or if it's a bar and grill, whatever. We're not going to go into all that, but anyway, I've seen a lot of videos for this one, and a couple of them actually have appeared on Paranormal Caught on Camera. And I've also do believe I have seen video footage of paranormal teams going into this particular place in England where this was filmed, and there's a lot of legitimate things with this building. Its history is supposed to be pretty tragic from what I've heard of with a lot of them, and also there wasn't just one orb, there was actually two orbs. If you look and pay attention, I mean, if you want to go back and take a look at the footage again, go right ahead. It'll be fine by me. It ain't like it's gonna bother me any, but there's actually two orbs. One comes closer to the camera from the bar. The other one kind of shoots off to the location of where that wet floor sign was. So, I mean, this one right here, I believe is pretty legitimate. There's been several people who have came and went through that bar itself and did a lot of research into it, and it seems pretty legitimate to me. And let's be honest, a bar owner, doesn't matter where, they can make somewhat pretty decent money. I mean, especially with the way this one actually looks, and from what I hear about it, it does have a lot of customers that go in and out. And maybe they did it for a little scheme to get a little extra money. Maybe like, hey, you know what? This bar is haunted. Come over and take a look and see if you can catch the ghost. Maybe they did something like that. But from what I have seen and heard about this place, it is a legitimate location for hauntings. Well, that seems like it's the end of the videos that are in this episode. Y'all come on back now and I'll have more ready for you waiting. Now like and subscribe, y'all, and leave your comments down below. If there's something you want me to do differently, let me know. I'm up for anything. Catch you next time.